And that nigga did it how I always wanted to do it, and I'll never be able to do it like that.
I think that overall, I am increasingly getting sick of AEW. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm getting sick of WWE too. I'm getting sick of most of this shit because I can predict it. Don't you hate you watch a wrestling show and you watch something and all of a sudden you're like, this is gonna happen. And then it happens and you feel like mighty as fuck, but then you feel like, nah, I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want that to happen, you know? Like for a while, like when Vince was in charge, it was predictable. Like we knew it was gonna happen and you knew exactly how it was gonna play out.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I'm with you, but I'm not. I can see your perspective, but I can also see the other side of the coin. And we got somebody here that's gonna give us a fresh perspective because he is. I got a whole intro for it.
You know how this goes. You do this all the time whenever we have a guest. You get too excited and you jump the gun, bud. Okay, give me one moment. All right, I know I'm the one that. This is on me because I ruined it because you had it. Listen, you're amazing. You're the Bruce Buffer of Hot Take Wrestling. Okay, I want you to understand that. It's the greatest intro. Half the people that you've introduced in the first place have been some of the greatest intros ever, and your outro is pretty amazing. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I am Joe Freeland, aka Champ, aka I am the one tweeting. This is going to be an epic night. Okay, this is going to be a beautiful tripod of wrestling. It's going to be fantastic. Allow me to introduce my brother, my friend like no other, my frenemy, if you will, someone who I genuinely care about, but 98% of the stuff he tells is the truth. The other 2%, Hot Take Wrestling is not responsible for his opinion. I don't care what. I don't care if he says, it was on your pot. No. Whatever No Chill with Phil says, that 2%, we don't agree with that, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, No Chill with Phil.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Phil Meyer Sr., a.k.a. Can't Knock the Great with No Chill with Phil, the child support slayer, the voice of violence for all heel wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the building. This man is half man, half amazing. This man, I have seen this man stop a dump truck with his bare hand. I have seen this man do some incredible things. This man is a walking, talking Rock of Gibraltar. There's so many accolades that I could give this man right now. But ladies and gentlemen, the Joe Pesci of professional wrestling. I give you PAULY THOMASELli. Put your hands together.
Wow, what an intro. And here you are putting me over, and then you call me the Joe Pesci like I'm a clown. Am I funny?
No.
I get asked to come on the show. Hey, bro, I'd love for you to come on my podcast. It'll be super chill, like no gimmick stuff. Like, no, just bro it out, bro. It'll be great. And then you got to come on and be, now I'm No Chill with Phil. I got the gimmick going because I'm just the Mark, and every Mark's got to have a gimmick nowadays. Anyways, Joe, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Phil, you're still a dickhead.
Wait.
Unmute yourself. Dead air Phil. You're not No Chill with Phil. You're dead air Phil. Unmute
the Joe
yourself.
Pesci. Hold up. The Joe Pesci of professional wrestling. We're talking Joe Pesci from Goodfellas. We're talking Joe Pesci from Casino. We're not talking Home Alone Joe Pesci. We're not talking Gone Fishing Joe Pesci. We're not talking Lethal Weapon Joe Pesci. The man I am talking about is that ruthless aggression, that brawler, that stone. You are the stone that David used to kill Goliath.
That's
the Joe Pesci I'm talking about.
That's really intense.
Wow.
You can call. I don't know who the hell Mark is. You can call me Mark all day.
No,
but I gotta give you your flowers while you can still smell them, bro. Paulie Thomaselli, what's up, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. I do. All jokes aside, now that I got that out of the way, thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it, guys. This is cool. I love doing stuff like this.
Bro, we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. All right, we're gonna ask you a bunch of questions, Paulie. To be honest with you, they are going to be controversial questions. They have no bearing or meaning or anything. You're still going to be a great wrestler. You're still going to put your stuff out here, whatever. But they're just, complicated questions. So, with that being said, I will go first, and I always start with the most complicated one. Bury, push, fire. Okay, bury, push, fire. Here we go. Bury, push, fire. Adam Cole, Ricochet, and Kota Ibushi. And you got to give me a reason why. You got to give me reasons. You got to give me reasons. You got to tell me why, okay? In the words of the Backstreet Boys, tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heart. Oh, sorry. We are harmonizing, brother. We are harmonizing.
I love that damn song.
Barry Adam Cole. I can't stand that guy. I don't like seeing a guy on my TV that when I look at you, I can go, I can beat the shit out of you. You're not a tough guy. You're a dark match Shawn Michaels in the sense of just really wanting to beat him in the worst way. He has no redeeming qualities to me, and I would bury the shit out of him. Worse than I don't know, man. That guy's he's a turd. He's a turd and a half. I can't stand him. Fire Kota Ibushi because Ricochet's my boy, man. I go way back with Ricochet all the way to the IWA Mid-South days. That dude, you're not going to meet a better person on the planet as far as Ricochet goes, in my opinion. Talent-wise, personal-wise, like I said, we go way back to, sharing locker rooms and things like that. And it infuriates me when you see him on TV for a couple of weeks, he gets pushed, he gets the IC belt or something like that, and then just to smash him for no reason. It drives me insane. Who was it? What was it? He was doing a backstage segment talking with someone and he just got beat up again for no reason.
Sheamus?
Possibly, yeah. It was. I don't know. I read about it. I don't watch as much wrestling.
But then they had him get beat up a couple different times too.
Yeah, it was just like last week.
Sheamus.
So it drives me nuts only because, like I said, I've worked him so many times in the ring, and someone I consider a friend. So that you want to see him get pushed to the moon and get that rocket strap to his back. And if anyone talent wise, him, fuck, he's in the top 5 for sure in my books, man. So, but yeah, fuck Adam Cole.
Yeah, I've never heard someone say that about Adam Cole. But the more you say it, the more it kind of matches.
The reasons that he gives is kind of like, I didn't think of that.
No, it's not, because it's not awe. That's what I appreciate. Like, it's not awe. There's a super kick in there. There's a back suplex in there. The only thing that's missing is like a big diving elbow drop.
And the motocross boots and the long tights. And Sherry Martel. I mean, come on, man. He epitomizes 1993 Shawn Michaels, or wants to be. Shit. So, and again, you're like, he's no taller than I am, and about $160. So I'm sorry, dude. Like, the only thing you have good going about you is you have a hot fiance or girlfriend or wife, whatever she is. That's about it.
Yeah, Britt Baker's hot. Britt Baker's fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she'd get it for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, the dude does nothing for me. And when he was on top in NXT, like he was instant fast forward. Like, thank God I had this on the network and I can just fast forward. Like, I can't. He does nothing for me, man. The only good shit he did was with Pat McAfee. But I love Pat McAfee. I think he's hilarious.
I love Pat McAfee.
So, but yeah, man. I'm sorry, Michael. Not Michael Cole, whatever the fuck. He does nothing for me. And the whole, when you come to the ring, baby, like, get off my TV.
It's so catchy.
Yeah, it's very catchy, and I'm happy that he has the following and all that other stuff. But I don't like the guy. In my opinion, fuck him.
Yeah. I feel like
I can see that.
The worst part about it is you're gonna see him now and be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, now I feel like it's like because when Adam Cole first got to NXT, I was Martin. Because I saw him at Impact, saw him in Ring of Honor. I was like, I like Adam Cole. I fuck with Adam Cole. PWG. Right? I fuck with Adam Cole. Hell yeah. But now you said 93 Shawn Michaels. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. I think I'm cute.
And
you know that's his ringtone on his phone. I know I'm sexy. Yeah, and it's not the Sherry Martel. Oh yeah.
The first person he told when he was leaving, he told Shawn when he was leaving, he's like, I'm leaving. I don't want you to get upset about this. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Shawn was like, okay, no. He's like, no.
You know when him and Britt Baker first got together, she's like, hey, do you have any fantasies you do in the bedroom? Yeah, I got this one little thing I like to do. Put on this black, like almost like Afro wig in a sense, because her hair's always big. Put on a sequin dress, and I'm gonna be Shawn Michaels, and I want to be your boy toy. And she's like, oh, the old Sherry Martel fantasy. Like, okay, I guess we can do that. Usually I'm Elizabeth, and the other guy's Macho Man, but that's fine.
Way to go!
Wow.
Way to be original. God damn it, Adam Cole. Get your shit together.
Yeah, I'm never getting a job in AEW now. Fuck.
Yeah, no, because look,
that's probably not. Yeah. Check this out. Pauly Thomaselli. Wait, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh no. That was because I'm listen. AEW needs a lot, so you'll be a welcome.
They're on life support.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no way of watching them. I don't have cable, man. So they need to get on some sort of streaming service. I was getting excited when I heard there was talks with HBO Max and stuff like that, because that's one of my favorite apps that I use.
Love that. Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, without a streaming service and with the way today's on the go stuff is with everything, I don't have time for it. I don't. I don't have cable or the DVR box or something to watch it. So unless I see little highlights here, there are things that.
Well, truthfully, you're not missing nothing.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, truthfully, you're not missing anything. So. And you'll see kind of like the highlight clips on like Instagram or Facebook, like that hot 30 seconds or 15 seconds, and it's kind of like, well, that was AEW Wednesday, Friday,
and Dark. So you're not Dark plays too. Yeah.
Dark is on YouTube.
Yeah, so they play some of the things that happen at Dynamite, so you're not missing it.
I'll have to check that out sometime. And by the way, when I say I'll have to check that out, I'm never gonna do that.
So that's just a polite thing to say.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Send me the link.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, send me the link. Literally, I'll check it out. So check this out, Pauly. I did a deep dive into your background for wrestling.
That sounds really dirty.
You got an amateur.
I'm glad you qualified with wrestling. Yeah.
Wrestling. I found out you had a amateur wrestling career in high school. Very impressive record of 28-0, which is pretty badass. But then I seen you and it was like, I saw your record in high school. And then I saw a jump to where you were in the Indies where you had 2 belts. Where you were saying, you just made this post a couple days ago where you.
Look what came in the mail today, buddy. Yep.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that picture pops up in my memories, and I'm like, oh fuck, ball necklaces. Those are so cool back in the day. I'm gonna bring that back. I'm bringing that shit back.
I'm bringing chokers, ball necklaces, all that shit back.
Right. What's the first thing you do? Amazon.
Amazon.
So, yeah, 2 days later, I got myself a brand new phone. Next, bitch, check it out.
Amazon's like the worst thing ever because you can bring back like something randomly, like just all like, like random them ugly them girls have them ugly ass goth chokers and shit. They were like with triangles and shit.
Dude, I opened the package up because it came after my daughter. I get home, I pick her up from school, and it was sitting on my porch. She's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, you'll see."
You're gonna see it.
What kind of necklace is that, Daddy? I'm like, only the coolest kind ever. Can I wear a shirt? Put it on.
He's gonna come back with beaded bracelets on the way to the ring and shit, very Nickelbacky and shit.
Right.
They're just like, how the hell we
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Yeah. How did her eyes get so red? The hell is on Joey's head? So I can keep going. You better cut me off, man.
Bro, so talk about how you made the leap from amateur to indies.
So yeah,
amateur there was
wrestling,
a bit of a gap right there.
There was no gap, man. Actually, amateur, all middle school, all high school. State champion here in Illinois my 8th grade year. 4-year varsity wrestler all throughout high school, and then my senior year. Wrestling season ended in February of 2003, and April of 2003 I signed up with PCW, which is now no longer in Chicago anymore. And I started training with them. And then as I was training, what is now Dreamwave was RCW at the time, Revolution Championship Wrestling. And they were bringing Vito in from California to wrestle. So Vito ended up getting me booked down in LaSalle with RCW. So that's kind of where like the real main jump for me from staying at one company, learning the basic of basics and stuff, which I'm not shitting on by any means. But really learning and meeting and networking is when I got to RCW. And that's when things really started picking up for me. And then shortly after that, I signed up in April of 2003. By December of 2003, there was a bit of a falling out between the many owners of PCW, and so then that turned into us leaving and AAW started. So we did AAW, and then at that point when I left AAW or left for AAW, we all started that. I started training with Eric Priest a little bit because his school was closer to my house.
Ooh, okay.
And then I started getting work with MSPW, which was like DDS. And that camp of guys. And then I left AAW before the second show because I wanted to do a double shot. And they said, no, we don't allow double shots. And I told them to pound sand. And so then I started working more with Priest, still working with RCW. And then Eric Priest got me booked up in Milwaukee with Carmine DeSpirito for MAW. And that's where when that picture, that was actually up in Milwaukee there. And throughout that time, throughout 2004, because of Dreamwave or RCW, I started working with Danny Daniels a lot. And Danny kind of took me under his wing, like huge for me at that time. And then Danny started taking me around and helping me out and get me bookings. He's the first guy to get me booked out of the state of Illinois, where I was booked up in Michigan, which was like the coolest thing ever. Like, oh my God, I can't believe like we're traveling up, like you're Detroit today. This is crazy. And I was the young boy, man. I picked him up, Ryan Boz and Brad Bradley. And, all right, guys, get in the car. Let's go. Like, what's the address? As we're using the big Rand McNally road atlas. You know? Yeah, it's 2004, man. Like, you had to be cool and Richland and GPS.
It wasn't no GPS.
No, the GPS was the big Rand McNally map book. You know, I remember my dad got that for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're gonna be traveling, you're gonna fucking need them. I guess. So, but yeah, man. So that happened there. But then, dude, like RCW was so cool at that time because they would bring in like Cabana and Punk and Ace Steel, and one of the first like real matches, and after I'd been traveling a little bit, kind of getting a better name for myself and things, happened when I wrestled Ace Steel. I was greener than the grass outside, man. Okay. And he knew what he was doing. I mean, the guy's awesome. And there's things that he told me as we were putting that match together that I still use to this day, or when I'm working with a younger guy, and you can tell he's a little bit nervous. Like, hey man, just focus on this. And it's literally things that like Ace Steele taught me almost 20 years ago now at this point. The guy, like I said, that guy, he's amazing, man. So that's, like I said, there was all that there. And then with Danny got me hooked up with Ian Rott and got me a tryout with IWA Mid-South. And that's when things blew up. That was September of 2004 is when I got my first tryout for Ian to see what I could do. And from that point on, it didn't stop for like 3 or 4 years after that. Ian literally running, 3-4 shots at a time.
Wow.
It was crazy, dude. And in my first month working for IWA Mid-South, talk about the ultimate, like, I don't belong here situation. My first month, I worked Matt Sydal, Claudio Castagnoli, Delirious, Jimmy Jacobs, and CM Punk.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Your first month?
So
That's a lot.
Yeah. Now be, 20 years old, a year in the wrestling business going, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. What am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Literally like,
yeah.
fucking
Dude.
going on.
Dude, so I get invited that year, 2004, Ian has the TPI weekend, but instead of just being Friday and Saturday, he did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So he needed a lot of guys for the show, right? And I was fortunate enough to be booked on the first night, that Wednesday night shot. Get to the locker room, and again, I'm looking around like there's AJ Styles. I remember, because I still am, but I was the biggest AJ Styles mark on the planet at the time, dude. I was like, oh my God. Oh. And Danny's like, knock it off. I'm like, I can't do it. Yeah, dude, stop. Oh my God. I go, that's fucking AJ Styles right there though, man. He's like, yeah, we know him. It's cool, man. I'm like, all right. Introduce me. He's like, God damn it, Brandon. I'm like, I know, sorry. So I remember just like, I was just in full, like, I don't belong here. Then Christopher Daniels. Hey, he's there. Like, dude, it was the who's who of everyone, right? So I find a little spot, put my bag down, start getting dressed, and this big burly dude sits down next to me. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen you on any Mid-South tapes. I thought he was just some deathmatch dude. Like, oh, Ian brought in some random, I guess we're having a death match tonight because, we need these 75 matches in this podunk town in Indiana, right?
Right.
So, hey, man, how you doing? I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. I'm like, hey, Chris, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you, man. This and that. Sitting there talking. He's reading a comic book, and out of nowhere, someone's like, hey, Abyss. He's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, oh. Again, I don't belong here. I work out for you every Wednesday night on TNA, bro. Like, holy shit. Like, just stuff like that, man. I didn't belong. The best part of this night, though, that I will. Ian's like, Brandon, you're going to work Claudio tonight. Oh, cool. Yeah, great. I was happy because I was familiar with him at this point. We had already wrestled once in a 3-way. It was me, Claudio, and Delirious. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, we know each other's moves. I'm already nervous to be here, so at least like I know he'll take care of me because the dude's awesome, right? And I go, all right, cool, boss. Who do you want over? He's like, kid, you're gonna go over that. He ain't gonna last in the States. What are you talking about? Yeah, Ian talking about Claudio Castagnoli not gonna last in the States. He thought he was going home soon. Like, fuck him. Like, why would I push him? So yeah, funny. Again, almost 20 years later, here he is still.
And the crazy thing about
dude, you mentioned.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
You go.
Dude, you mentioned like some legendary names, bro. Like some solid names. You have literally worked with the best of the best of the best that do this, live this, breathe this, love this. And it's funny hearing that from you because with me, seeing you in the All Heel locker room, that explains so much of your presence in the locker room.
Yeah.
It's because it's funny, bro. And again, like, not to shoot, not to work. I'm giving you your flowers, bro. Like, you can be that funny guy and loosen up. Hey, man, I've seen you with the newer cats.
Yeah.
Man, loosen up, like, man, focus. Like, get your head on, man. Get your head on. It's almost your time. I've seen you, hey, y'all, tighten the fuck up in the locker room.
Yeah.
I've seen both sides of Pauly Thomaselli.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm that guy that'll sit there and fuck around and laugh and giggle. And then as soon as the promoter comes in, like, hey, I want to have this meeting, and everyone's, da-da-da-da-da, I'm the first one to go, shut the fuck up! Everyone sits there, oh, sorry. You know.
Yeah.
Now we're talking business. Let's go. Start this fucking show. We all want to get out of here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off. I have a problem with that.
No. You're good. But see, I appreciate that because, again, it's like you're saying, it's all fun and games until the show starts. And then when the show starts, well, what do I do? Well, you should have been fucking paying attention.
Right.
And you have that that presence in the backstage as like a locker room leader. You do.
Thank you.
Which is pretty awesome because it's kind of like you sit and say like you were Christopher Daniels, AJ, and Abyss, and this, and Drives, and that. All legends. Be it local legends, be it worldwide legends. It's almost like you've taken a piece of each person you've worked with and molded that into you, your mindset, how you're in the ring, on, off camera, on, in, out ring, locker room, whatever. I can
100%.
appreciate that. That shows that you are a true professional and you take this craft seriously.
Oh, dude, 100%. Because if you're not out there, look, here's the biggest thing that people don't understand getting into wrestling. I think, again, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but what I've kind of noticed with things, everyone wants to be the champion. I want to win. I need to win. And I've been there. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not talking out of line here. I've been that guy. Like, oh man, I got a job again. Like, this sucks. Yeah, dude, you've been in the business 6 months. Knock it off. You know, the people don't understand that wrestling isn't about just them. It's not about just their match. It's not about one show. It's about the company that you're working for at that time to progress, to make people want to bring a friend, to bring a friend, to bring a friend to the next show, to the next show, to the next show, to build something to make it awesome. Mm-hmm. And now everything I just said about the company, it starts baby steps. All right, what am I going to do tonight to make my match stand out? Which means, what am I going to do tonight? Not for me. How am I going to get my opponent over? Am I going to bump a certain way? Am I going to know something because he's kind of a turd and I'm maybe a little bit bigger? Like, how are we going to structure this match to make it work so that when people go home, they're going to go, wow, wow, that was a great match. Now, I don't care if they don't remember things in the beginning because a lot of times the beginning stuff can be boring. But as long as they have a solid memory of a solid finish of something that happened because we told the story, my job's done, man. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're at, whether it's All Heel Wrestling, POW Entertainment, WWE. If you're not there to tell a story to make your match stand out, and when I say that, it's not a selfish thing, because you wanted to make your match stand out and do the best you can. The next guy does the same thing. It's not about topping the guy before you. It's about sending every single person that paid whatever the amount of dollars is for that ticket to go, wow, like that match is great. Holy fuck, that match is great. Oh, man, this has been a fantastic show. Like, holy shit, right. You know? That's what it's all about. It's about those people that have literally paid their money to come see you. Well, again, whether it's a little indie or it's the big time at the Allstate Arena with WWE. Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. They paid money to see you. Now you're an entertainer now. Go out there and do your fucking job.
Respect.
Don't half-ass.
Respect.
And also, and dude, I learned this from Chavo Guerrero. And yeah, I totally dropped another name right now. We had to go out and wrestle one another one time in front of about 20 people or so. And I was like, dude, you want to just walk and talk out there? I'll listen to you. Whatever you want to do. He's like, no. He goes, why would we do that? I go, man, there's not a lot of people out there tonight. And I don't want to run the risk of either of us getting hurt, doing something crazy that doesn't necessarily need to be done. And he goes, nah, man, let's plan a good match. We'll do a solid match. We don't have to do anything crazy, but we're going to give these people a good match. He goes, I'll tell you why. It's a lot harder to go out there and work in front of 20 people than it is to go work in front of a whole arena on TV. And I'm like, I'm listening, please. Now, please enlighten me. And not in the sense of like, tell me why, bro. And like, wow, please tell me why. Wow, now I want to hear this.
Right.
And he was saying how in an arena with, tens of thousands of people, of those, of every 1,000 people, 10 to 15 might be super intrigued by what you're doing. Well, that 10 to 15 people around them are going to have everyone else around them marking out because they're marking out. Because now you see someone having fun, now you want to have fun. Well, now the people around them, they all want to have fun. He goes, we have 20 people here right now, which means we have 20 people that we need to entertain. He goes, let's go out there and tell a story. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do that. And then I tore his quad we had literally had 95% of the match done. And I'm sorry, his groin. And he had called for me to do my rolling neck breaker, the Golden Gate swing. And as we hit it, he was going to kick out. I was going to put him on the top rope. He pushes me off, frog splash me to the home. Hit it, 1, 2, and he's like, don't get up, don't get up, don't get up. I'm like, 3, the referee counts 3. What the fuck just happened? So I got my happy ass out of the ring because I didn't know what happened. He then cut about a 25-minute promo and a Q&A with the 20 people that were in attendance. I just got hurt. I don't know what happened. Give it up for that guy. He just beat a Guerrero. And I was like, I remember being in the back like, fuck yeah, I just beat a Guerrero. Like, oh man, I just heard a Guerrero. Like, dude, it was such a like, wah, 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 wah. Yeah, it was crazy. Fucking crazy.
Bro, you beat Chavo Guerrero.
I did. As a hater, mind you. Because I had to work twice that night. I was Paulie earlier in the night, and then I was the hater later in the night. So, yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. What I can't respect is like we've had this discussion on Hot Take over and over again. Like the problem with most of some promotions is there is a lack of entertainment. Like there's big spots, there's amazing moves, there's like new moves you haven't seen before, but there's like no entertainment, there's no story, there's no long drawn out process, there's no build to anything. Stuff just happens. And I think I'm someone who's from that era where like every Saturday morning there's an hour worth of wrestling that you were going to get, and each Saturday was like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. So it comes there at the pay-per-view, and if they want to keep pushing, they keep pushing it. Like that's right. Wrestling that I know and how I see it now. Now with certain with certain just promotions and certain things, it's like, oh yeah, we're making him champ because he's hot. No bill, no nothing, just
no. Oh man, you know what? He shared my flyer 20 times, so everyone else shared it 15. So I'm gonna put the strap on. I'm like, what? Yeah. No, it's man, I don't know. I there's times where I go, man, I've been doing this way too long. Why do I do this? And then I think, man, I was in that ring tonight. That was a lot of fucking fun. Oh, that's why I do it. I'm having fun, And dude, if it was not for Hardcore Craig, my tag partner, I would have been done 5, 6, 7 years ago now at this point.
Wow.
Teaming with him. Oh yeah, teaming with him. When we first started teaming up in 2012, we were literally thrown together because a promoter in Indiana goes, man, I bet you two would look good together. Okay. And I knew Craig, kind of. Put it this way, I knew him at shows, but I didn't know his last name until I got a friend request on Facebook, and I went, who's this jerk off? Oh, fuck, it's Craig. Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah. I'm like, his last name's Swan? What?
Doesn't that fuck you up?
Yeah. And I immediately go to Billy Madison. I go, stop looking at me, Swan. Because I could, like, Swan? Your last name's Swan? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Fast forward 10 years now, and the guy, like, is literally my brother from another mother. When there's family parties, that's like immediate family. It's like immediate family and Craig and Paulie. Like, yeah. It's yeah. If I ever needed something, before I'm hanging up the phone going, hey man, he's already pulling my driver like, who we fucking up? Oh, hey, let me put some underwear on, man. I didn't know you're gonna be here so quickly. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of Craig is, man.
Hey man, Hey, but you can't quit. You're still in your prime. Everybody has a prime in wrestling where like I would say like 35 to like 45, 46 is a good prime. You're like,
oh yeah, I agree, man. I agree for sure. But you got to realize too, like back in the day, I'm the old fucker now.
Right.
like remember Bob Backlund when he won a belt, was it 95? I think he was 45 at that time. Like, oh my God, he's so old. He's in his 40s, AJ Styles, what, 43 now or something like that, I think.
Right, but he's
awesome.
Right. He's
fucking
still
awesome. So
like even fucking I would say what like because that those prime years are just like not even like doing just like anything with wrestling anatomy wise. Your body gets used to a certain thing. Your body gets used to get bigger, faster, stronger, and stuff like that's really the peak. Like Taker, 35 to 45. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Amazing.
Yeah.
Fan fucking tastic.
Some of his best matches.
Look at Chris Jericho
During that time.
Look at Chris Jericho.
Another one.
I mean, I just had a conversation with my brother Sal about this the other day. We were talking about Jericho and stuff, and I had asked Sal, I'm like, has he reached Undertaker status yet with the longevity of a career? Now, granted, maybe not as many high-profile matches, but when you talk about longevity, reinventing yourself, and still in the game and being relevant in the game, he's at an Undertaker status. Or am I way off the wall thinking that?
No. I would almost be a betting man to say surpassing Taker status.
Not yet. I don't think so. I don't think yet.
Very close to. Very close.
No,
to.
he's
because again.
He will one day. I'm just saying, as far as
how long Jericho has been in the game.
I was watching him on my TV when I was like 13 on Nitro. Think about that.
Yeah, but like you forget. Remember, Taker was so good at one point. He wrestled one match out the year.
Right.
Jericho, to be great, has to be consistent at that level. That's why I see him surpass Taker. We were waiting for Taker. He lost to Brock, and we're like, okay, is he coming back?
I'll never forget that. My brother had a WrestleMania party at his house, and we were all in his garage. He had a big TV in his garage. My dad was grilling. Like, we had a whole, like, it was one of the first times we didn't just, like, hang out, like, oh, it's just, a couple of us. It was like a bash at my brother's house. And we were sitting there watching, we're eating, drinking and stuff. And then 1, 2, 3. And all of our faces were that dude that had, like, the white and black shirt. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I'll put that graphic up. I got it saved. I'll put the graphic up. That guy was my profile picture for like a week after that happened because I couldn't believe it. I was like, you gotta be ripping me right now.
Yeah.
I remember watching that WrestleMania. I was watching it with I think with like my girlfriend at the time and my daughter and she watched. She's like, he's gonna kick out, and she had like my daughter. She couldn't be no older than she probably pretty young, and she had her. I kid you not. She had her like this. Because he didn't get up. Like, he didn't get up. And she was like...
Well, and I think when he hit it, too, like, we were all kind of... I think everyone in general was in a conversation or this or that, because, like, he's kicking out. Anyway, so, yeah, blah, 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 back to work tomorrow, drive you. No. What the fuck? Did that just happen? Oh, my God. Yeah. That's crazy.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like...
every year, especially when, like, the network first came out, WrestleMania party, WrestleMania this, WrestleMania. Because that's, for us, it's like, fuck the Super Bowl. WrestleMania's up here. Super Bowl's
that's our Super Bowl. That's what we're excited about,
Yeah. To see that, and it's kind of like, was that supposed to happen? No. Yeah. The ref messed up.
Yeah. Someone done fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Someone's getting fired tonight.
I legit was like,
yeah,
ref fucked up. And then Paul Heyman came in and he was like, you just broke the streak. And I was like, oh, this no pun intended. This shit's real.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing.
Shit got real
But
dumb.
you know what? I mean, it just changed the spectrum.
You bring up an interesting point, though, Paulie, with Jericho. You do. Because, man, like, even now, if you go back to WCW Jericho to now, this man has, like, done it all. He literally has.
Yeah. Well, think about it, dude. So in WCW, you had the Lionheart. He's that young, that rookie sensation. Like, here I come. Yeah, baby, to getting to I got, the list of moves when he was working with Malenko and all this other shit, to being a bitter, hating this place. I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. To showing up on Raw in Chicago with, what is this Y2J countdown? What is this? To the biggest eruption ever, working with the biggest star at the time in The Rock, to now you went from here, now you're here. Yeah, dude, again, man, I don't love everything he does, but I will say for longevity and everything else, man, fuck. We all wish we could be that lucky to be able to do something like that we love for that long.
That is true.
I'm impressed with the way that Chris Jericho went from WWE to New Japan the second time. Not not the first time. The first time, when he was like in, ECW, the New Japan, the WCW,
right?
That's fine, and because he's still young and but to be able to have a match with Kenny Omega,
yes,
be able to have even for like a match, like you're like Jericho's like what, 48, 47 at this time, 46 or whatever at that.
Yeah.
And they're not high flying Chris Jericho doing the Hurricane Rana all the way up the top. They're not like.
But he didn't have to.
Right.
He didn't have to
because he's figured it out. Like he's really.
Dude, and let's be honest here, man. As far as AEW goes, the Young Bucks had their internet following that helped out. Cody Rhodes. That whole, being the elite stuff. Yeah, that helped out a lot. But when someone like Jericho puts his stamp of approval on it, like, no, this is hot. This is what we're doing. That legitimizes, where you're at. So
I think Jericho is just as important as Moxley in that regard.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he really holds
absolutely.
I feel like if we're having this conversation, like, all right, fuck it. Top 5 Canadian wrestlers. Jericho got to be in the top 3. Has to be in the top 3. Has to be. He has to be. Like, okay.
Do you put Brian Pillman as a Canadian wrestler since he was in the Hart Foundation?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. And
sorry, I'm trying to buy time as I think here.
Because okay.
Yeah.
If I'm doing top 5 Canadian wrestlers, here we go. Owen Hart, Chris Benoit. No particular order, by the way. Bret Hart, Chris Jericho, and to start some bullshit, Lance Storm.
I was gonna say if you don't say Lance Storm, I'm gonna jump through this fucking computer screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bash your head off the fucking
because people don't remember. Like, people were like, "Oh, Lance Storm in WWE was boring."
He definitely does not get the credit he deserved. He definitely does not get the credit.
Lance Storm in ECW. Oh my God!
Was it Primetime Thrillers? Was a tag team? What was their name? I can't think what the tag. Yeah, no, dude, Lance Storm's awesome, man. I would say top 5. I would have to agree with you, Bret, Owen. Although, man, back in the day, I was the biggest Bret Hart mark. Hearing him talk today about like life and things, like, oh wow, your family is just fucked up. Like, I don't like you as a person anymore. But I would say Bret, Owen, Lance Storm, Chris Benoit as far as talent goes. Bret, Owen, Chris Benoit, Lance Storm. Who was the 5th one that you said?
Got one more. Jericho.
Oh, Jericho. Yeah, Jericho. I agree with you as far as the top 5 goes. I mean, what are you going to throw Harry Smith in there? No. Yeah. Honorable mention, Brian Pillman. He was trained in the dungeon and he was in the Hart Foundation.
Yeah. I guess. I mean,
but I mean, you could also say Dynamite Kid then, for that matter, because he trained and worked at Stampede also. So, you know. By the way, if you haven't read his book, his was the first ever autobiography of wrestlers in like 98, 99 when it came out. That was a real true tell-all, and he gives zero fucks about everything and says anything. No, Dynamite Kid. It's a great read. It's an easy read because he's not the smartest guy on the planet, so it's very basic as he was writing it.
Yeah.
But the stories are great. Some of the ribs he talks about the fight with the Rougeau brothers. It's he pulls no punches, man. And like I said, at that time in life, he didn't care at all about anything. So yeah. Dude, it's funny too. Like in this book, he talks about his first couple matches, and I was a skinny little kid, and I'm nervous, and I know I'm gonna get beat up, and fast forward, however many years later, and Hal Britannica's playing WrestleMania 3, and I'm smoking a cigarette, I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh fuck, Davey, come on, we gotta get on out there, like grab the dog or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's like, man, and here I am now, and like Phil was talking about it at shows, like I remember being so nervous, like, oh god, like I didn't miss out. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Now I'm like, hey, what's up? What match number are we? All right, cool. Let me put my boots on. Like, let's go. It's crazy, man.
So here, I'm gonna be controversial here, man. Canadian wrestlers, I gotta go Rick Martel.
Oh fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Forgot about Rick. Fuck.
What about Petey Williams?
I gotta go Benoit.
I forgot about Petey Williams.
Team Canada, man.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
That's the
hard.
Canadian.
I gotta go Omega.
You know what? Fuck Lance Storm. Petey takes his spot on my list because if it wasn't for that Canadian Destroyer, half of the indies for the past 15 years wouldn't have had that big move on their shows. So, Petey Williams. Plus, he's a really cool fucking dude. I got a story about him with Alex Shelley.
Oh, please tell that story.
So, tell that story. I do a camp. This is back in August 2006, and I do a camp with Scott D'Amore. At that camp, Jeff Luxon and Joe Doring are a part of the camp with us, and a young fella you guys might know as Tyler Black or Seth Rollins. And then about 25 other people taking a camp with Scott. Now, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that Luxon and Doring were really cool with D'Amore, and they got asked to do enhancement work for TNA in a week. And at one point he had all of us pair up with one another, and I don't remember if I paired up with Tyler Black or if we did something. I don't remember, man, but however it was, I remember after both of us were out of the ring, after everything was done, he watched everyone. He pulled us off to the side. He's like, hey guys, just so you know, we need some enhancement work coming up for the pay-per-view and the next day for the TV tapings. Would you guys be interested? Yes. Yes, we would. He's like, all right, just get down to Orlando. He goes, well, I'll have we'll email this week, and we'll get all the information and get all, everything there. As long as you're in Orlando at this time, blah, 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 you're out. Okay, great. And so and this is when I was, with IW Mid-South and Alex Shelley and Petey were on those shows and stuff. And they pulled me out to the outside. They're like, dude, like we heard Scott talk to you. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty fucking exciting, right? They're like, well, yeah. But I think they're going to have you work the Dudley Boys because they were making their return back to TNA in 06. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. They're like, no, those guys are dicks. I'm like, what? I had no idea. I had no fucking clue at all. But here's my I'm gonna call them friends because they were smarting the guy up. Like, just go down there and be cool. Hopefully, you don't get them. And I was like, all right, whatever, it's fine. I'm so happy that when we got down there, I ended up having to work with them because it was me and Joe Doring against the Dudley Boys making their debut, so that's why they had a couple of scrubs. Although Joe Doring's no scrub, but they had a couple of job guys and handsome guys go with them. And then Luxon and Tyler Black on the next TV taping worked LAX. So we get there that day, and we're all excited. Everything's great, and that was Hernandez and Homicide back then, not LAX.
Oh Jesus, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, just wait. There's a funny story to that too. So we get there, and the Dudleys are nowhere to be found. And Dorian and I find out that it's us against the Dudleys. All right, cool, whatever. I'm just happy to be there. Like, I'm gonna be on television. I'm gonna be on television, right? So we get there, dude. Legit. We get there on that Sunday, and because they invited us for the paper, on that Sunday, and then we were doing the TV tapings the next day. On Monday, we were doing 2 tapings for the next 2 weeks. Fuck yeah, man, this is great. They go, hey, we don't need you guys ready for the pay-per-view, but here's your badges, and then go through that wall. See that door in the wall over there? Like, yeah, go through that door. You're in Universal Studios. And we're like, okay, because they filmed on one of the backlots back there. And we literally walked through this door, and if you were walking past it in the theme park, you wouldn't even see this door like on the wall. It's just blended into the fucking wall like a goddamn secret passage to get to the backlots. We walked through, we're like, oh shit, we're in the park. How the fuck did this happen? Yeah, crazy, man, crazy. So go back for we watched the pay-per-view. Everyone's all marking out and geeked out because that was the time they announced that Kurt Angle was coming to TNA, and none of the boys knew. They just knew there was a Dixie surprise, and she was keeping it under wraps, and everyone's like, God, I wonder who's going to be. So the pay-per-view, the main event's on, and we're all sitting back there, and I look over, and again, I don't belong here. Jim Cornette's sitting next to me. I wish I knew the Cornette stuff from, like, if you listen to Something to Wrestle With podcast with Bruce Pritchard, like, I wish I knew the stuff of today back in 06 sitting next to him, because I literally had a Jim Cornette podcast sitting next to me watching this fucking pay-per-view. Coolest thing ever. Oh, this guy's not doing this guy's not doing that, blah blah blah. So the final thing goes, and here's our big announcement, and it's Kurt Angle, and they just show like the American flag and a whole little video package. He goes, what the fuck is this guy gonna do for this fucking piece of shit company? And I'm like, you're a guest here. You're a guest here. Don't laugh. He's testing you right now. Like, I didn't know what to do. It's like, God damn! Like, he did everything that you hear Bruce Pritchard do the imitation. I had literally sitting inches from me. Like, God damn! This motherfucker's not gonna do anything. Fuck! And I was like, oh. I go, but his credentials speak for themselves. Like, I'm trying not to, because I'm laughing, but I'm like, I shouldn't be a dude. God damn! It's fucking the best, man. The best.
Yeah.
So then we show up the next day. We find out, like I said, Dorian and I find out we're working the Dudleys. Tyler Black and Seth Rollins and Jeff Luxon, you're working LAX. And I remember them like, you guys got to work the Dudleys. You're the lucky ones. And I'm like, fuck, I know this sucks. And, I hope they're cool. So we get into the studio part where the ring is and stuff. And they're there. And D'Amore brings us up because Joe Doring is Scott D'Amore's boy. Like, they're super tight. So I just kind of stood with them. And it was nice of him to be like, hey, I'm going to introduce you to them myself, instead of going, hey, go talk to them. They're over there. Hey guys, these guys you're going to work with on the first taping. And here's your itinerary for the tapings, right? Oh, cool. Thanks. And so we're kind of talking with Devon. He's like, oh yeah, we'll once we get our gear on, we'll tell you guys to come to our locker room and we'll put everything. Okay, great. And out of nowhere we hear, are you fucking kidding me? It's Bubba. Are you fucking Russo? Get your fucking ass over here now. And Devon's like, yo, bro, like, chill out. Like, what's going on? And look at this shit. Look at this fucking freaking out. Like, face red, like as red as your shirt, Joe. Like, red. He's fuming. We're like, oh my God, like, what's going on? And I remember Doring leaning down. Doring's such a monster of a man next to me. He's like, do you think he's ribbing us? I'm like, God, I hope so. God, I hope so. So the original idea for them was they work us on TV taping 1, and then when they go film for the next TV taping, they were going to have a segment with the Insane Clown Posse. Actually, beautiful. Yeah, and he was like, I'm not working with these fucking guys. Fuck them. Just livid, right? You're bringing us back. This is our big fucking comeback, and we got to work with these assholes. Like, fuck these guys. Like, livid. Thank God ICP didn't show up. For whatever reason, they no-showed TNA that day. Because by the time the taping started and they weren't there and they rewrote whatever they did for the next week for the Dudleys, they were happy with it. Oh my God, though, there was about an hour where we're like, are they going to show up? Oh God, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. I'm like, Joe, you're going to be in the match the whole time because you're bigger than both of them, and they'll destroy me. So I don't want no fucking part of this.
Right. He's like,
he's like, I got you, dude. I got you. Don't worry. So luckily they didn't show up, and we put our match together, and it was super easy and simple. We had 7 minutes total with entrance. So get out there, get your shit in, and get the fuck out. And it was awesome, man. Really, really cool. Now, remember, they were going to beat us up and don't work with the Dudley boys. They're stiff with the enhancement guys and all this other shit. Were they snug? Sure. But no different than anyone else has ever really been, when it comes to snug. But stiff? No, man. No, they're professionals through and through. And remember, Seth Rollins, you guys, you got to work the Dudleys. You got to lay out. Yeah.
like that. Sorry.
What was that?
That's what you sound just like Seth.
So, that if you find it, like I said, that would have been September 14th or something like that. Because I said we were the first week and they were on the second taping. So if you get TNA's app where you can watch all their past shit, that's the match where Hernandez wraps his tank top around Seth Rollins' throat and Beal tosses him from corner to corner. But it's not like, when you do that, you do a little not a do-si-do, but like a hop step, hop, hop, go, right? Well, Seth Rollins being as athletic as he is, and Hernandez being as strong as he is, and being used to guys like, I'm going to sandbag the shit out of this one.
Right.
He took his little step to a half step, and when he launched Seth Rollins, the dude literally flew all the way across the ring and did a senton bomb into the other buckle. We thought he broke his neck. We thought he broke. Yeah, we're like, oh God! No, he was fine. Thank God he was fine. Wow. Yeah. And so when they got in the back, he's like, bro, what the fuck was that? Hernandez, he's like, oh yeah, I wanted to make you look good, man. What the fuck? He's like,
right.
I'm so used to guys sandbagging me. I gave you a little extra. You gave yourself way too much. Holy shit! I thought you were gonna fly out of the ring. He's like, yeah, I kind of thought I was at one point.
God. Oh shit.
Crazy. Oh my God. What?
Man, that make my fingers feel funny hearing that.
Hang on. Oh. That's not even the best story of that trip. And I wish Luxon was here with me right now to tell the story, because after the pay-per-view, again, everyone's excited, everyone's marking out except Jim Cornette. No, fuck that guy. God damn. They have their little shuttle van, like a church van that was taking everyone from Universal Studios back to the hotel.
Right.
So it was going to make a couple rounds, and the four of us are standing there. Actually, it was the three of us. Doring was going to go back with D'Amore, because D'Amore was trying to get Doring an interview with Jarrett to get him a job at TNA, which out of the four of us, he was the one that should have had a fucking job right then and there. So they were off doing whatever. So we're standing, just kind of in the group, and everyone piles in. Now, Lex Luger's on this bus because he was there for whatever reason for the pay-per-view. Every other name in TNA is there and stuff. And they're like, all right, everyone's packed like a sardine inside of this van. They're like, don't worry, they'll come back to you guys. It'll be great. And Luger goes, fuck that. You, scoot over. You guys, get in. You, and he points to me. Come on, buddy, I got you. As he sits back with his arm on the bench seat. Come on, I got you. Okay, sir. Here we go. Dude, the whole time he's talking on this ride, he's spitting as he's talking. I'm like, but I'm marking out because it's Lex Luger. This is the Lex Express we're on right now. Holy shit, this is amazing.
Holy
yeah.
we drive past the Golden Corral. Now at this point in my life, I had never heard of the Golden Corral. There was none in my area, so I knew nothing about this amazing buffet, right? Hey, bro, you ever been to Golden Corral? No, I haven't. Oh my God. All you can eat steaks. I tell them, I show up and it's my time, and I go, I want all of that right there. And then they sliced me off a little piece, and I said, okay, give that to him and then give me the rest. I want the whole fucking thing. He's like, if they gotta give it to you, it's a buffet. You paid to be there. That's how you get your protein, and all the protein is lots of protein. Good to know. Lots of protein. and as I can barely see over this gigantic tricep bicep area, I see Lux like, yeah, everyone was laughing. It was
crazy.
Can I drop another story? Can I drop another story of the best? This is one of my favorite of all time things that ever happened to me in wrestling. Can I tell this story real quick?
Hell yeah. You can drop another story. Let's go.
The only other person that saw this happen was Marshe Rocket. So if you ever get a chance to talk to him, or if you want to message him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, message him. But ask him to tell you the story through an audible response, because I can't do it justice with the way he is so not physical. What's the?
And I know Rocket.
Animated.
Yeah, animated. He's So I'm doing this series of matches with Shogun Chris Logan, and we had battled for the King of Joliet crown, and I lost it at the tournament for it, but then I beat him for it the next month. So now I'm the King of Joliet, and this is all for Pro Wrestling Blitz. But he held the LWF title at that time because Billy Wack was a part of the company. Billy Wack was the owner, and the place where CM Punk started, LWF, that place. So Logan's the champion, right? So we were building to WrestleFest to have, the King versus the champ, winner takes all that night. So this is going to be great, right? And I love working with Chris Logan, man. Talk about a dude that can take some of your hardest hits and give it right back and smile as he's doing. You're like, yeah, do it again. All right, here it comes. Man. So they tell me as we're leading up to WrestleFest that Booker T is going to be my manager that night, because it takes the king to know a king, King Booker. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, cool. Again, I'm a fan, bro. Like, hell yeah, this is great. So, and I got to cut a promo before the match, and then I got to say, it takes the king. They wanted the whole thing to be, it takes the king to know a king. Dun, 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 dun. Nice. The whole thing, like, here comes Booker T. And again, like, thank God it's not on the match itself. But as soon as I said, and it takes the king to know a king, the camera cuts right to the entrance. But I remember Logan and I, because the house lights go down, everything goes down, and the wait, dun, 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 we looked at each other like, I can't believe this is happening. I cannot. Wow. Now, as I'm getting ready, we got the match put together. It's the match before us. I'm going over every last little detail in my head. This is going to be this. It's going to be that. Booker's going to come in here. He knew his spots. Everything was great. I'm doing my thing, like, okay, here we go. And I see this big mountain of a man come towards me. Now, mind you, Marche's to my left, sitting on a table, checking his phone. And here comes Booker. We were there was just the three of us in the gorilla position area there. Ready, dog? Yeah, man, I'm ready, Are you ready, dog? Yeah, man. What the fuck? I'm thinking like, I know my spots. What the fuck, right? I said, are you ready, dog? Are you ready? As he's like chest bumping me, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm gonna knock the fucking shit out of this guy. That's right, dog. That's right, dog. We're taking this stuff home tonight. Fuck yeah, we are, dude. I've pre-workout, coffee, you name it. I've guzzled it all to get ready for a goddamn match. And I've had some jitters going to the ring. I've never wanted to murder someone more than having Booker T as a hype. Like, you ready, dog? Like, yeah, fucking yeah. But again, at first it was like, yeah, man, I'm ready. Like, I literally thought he was asking, like, hey, man, you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. Are you ready? And he gave me the eyes, the Booker T eyes. I was like, Hulk Hogan. No, I didn't say that part, but I wanted to really bad. He walks away. He walks away now because now he's got me hyped, and I'm let's go. Fuck yeah, this is great. I see Marche's like, man, did that just happen? I'm like, that just happened. That just happened. He goes, I want to put my boots back on, and I want to go wrestle right now. He's like, he didn't even touch me, and I'm ready to go again. I'm like, I know, dude. I know. I'm gonna murder this guy. Let's go right now.
I'm gonna kill him. He's gonna die now. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
You ready, dog?
If
you guys name your podcast, that would be the name of the show. You ready, dog?
You ready, dog?
Yeah.
You ready, dog?
Put it this way. I'm fired up right now to go like cut a tree down or something with my bare hands. Let's go. Like, dude, if I need motivation, I go back to the Booker T. Like, ready, dog? Yeah, let's go. Come on.
It's the goddamn voice, man. It's the voice. Man, like everything, like everything that he like that whole thing with Stone Cold, the whole thing, even the whole like
yeah.
Eyes and everything. Goddamn.
There's been days when I was at my old job. I love my new place where I'm at now. But when I was at my old job and in the previous position that I had, like my entry level position, I hated being there. 12-hour shift. It's 6:30 in the morning. I start at 6:45. I'm going like, I just want to go home right now. I literally want to leave this parking lot and go home. I hate it. And then I go, you ready, dog? I'm like, all right, let's go. We're gonna go to work right now.
Hell yeah,
let's
ready?
get this shit.
Hey,
So yo, Paulie, we not gonna keep you, bro. I got one last question.
Hey man, look,
for you.
I'm good. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna sit over for
well, shit.
that, but no, man,
yeah.
I'm actually having fun.
Yeah.
Phil, I didn't think I was gonna have any fun with you. Joe, I knew I'd be cool with, just because I like meeting people. But you, I don't necessarily like you all the time because you.
Stop it, bro. You love me.
Yeah,
You
because
love
you're
me.
super cool at times,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like you switching the character out of nowhere. Like, really, man? We're doing this. Okay. We're doing this.
You can't
So,
do it. You can't do
So,
that.
yo, I gotta ask you. I need you.
11
Your
inches
excellent
around.
storyteller.
Think about it.
Whoa, no, not that.
Joe just died.
No.
Joe just died. He fell over. No,
We're not doing that one.
That's from American Pie 2, man. And I don't know why for the past 20 years that joke has always made me laugh. And it's the dumbest joke on the planet. First off, who would want that? Secondly, It's not funny. Like, I know it's not funny, but it's
Not
the
funny.
It's
It's the
delivery.
But it
principle of how it was
It's
done.
not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's like that's what she said. Like, it's funny. But
Oh
yeah.
no, that's what she said is always
check this
funny.
out, bro.
Don't even front on that one.
So check this out, bro. Out of all the research that I've done, your accolades, the mountain climbing that you've done, and you've even shed some light for me as a fan, as well as a colleague. I have to say, one of the coolest things that I've ever seen you do, and I need you to explain this, was tag team with your baby girl, Nova. Now, as a father of a young girl, and I think all of us have had that moment where we try to raise our girls with a little tomboy, WWE, whatever, TNA, and then
you want to
But
instill strong
you
values in
act-
them, man. You know?
yes.
You know, you and then at the same
And
time
Nova
as
is
a
like the cutest thing.
oh, thanks, dude.
That's awesome.
At the
Tell
same
that
time, dude,
story. Tell
but-
that story
okay,
and
well-
how that came to be.
to kind of elaborate on what you're saying, man, as a girl dad, as soon as you find out you're having a girl, and I don't care who you are, every guy's like, fuck, I'm having a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as they're healthy, you go through the standard, as long as they're healthy, 10 fingers, 10 toes, like, okay,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, all
Yeah.
the wrestling shoes you were going to buy, all the, the shoulder, like, all right, well, every guy's going to do that. I wouldn't have it any other way having a daughter. And like, dude, it's she has made me such a better person because the attitude, the assholishness, everything has had to go out the window, especially becoming a single dad after her mom and I got a divorce. And all of a sudden, I'm on my own. And the slightest little thing would piss me off. Oh my God, the sun's beating on the TV. Why the fuck's it on the TV right now? Like, it didn't matter what it was, but you go through these stages of your divorce and separation and whatnot, man. So if it wasn't for her and my amazing support system that I have in my family, my mom and dad, my brother, my sister, who literally are the type of people that will just let you talk just to get it off your chest and then go, okay, do you want advice? or my opinion, or do you want me to sugarcoat it? Oh. Can you sugarcoat it at first and then give me your opinion and then the advice? Like, you know, like you gotta,
Right.
you know, especially like with my mom, dude, like you just go, no, mom, give it to me straight. And she's not going to sugarcoat anything. And I needed that. I needed quite a few talks from my mom and dad going through that time of my life, because you don't, as being in it, you don't see yourself deteriorating as a person, devolving as a person and things like that. I don't wish divorce upon anyone. So yeah, my dad the one day is like, hey man, I was getting ready to go to work. 'Cause I was living with my folks through my divorce before I bought my house and stuff like that. And he's like, we need to have a talk like right now. I'm like, I'm running late. So I don't give a fuck if you're late or not. Sit down. I was like, okay. And him and my mom basically asked me that I was being an asshole. And they just wanted to say it. And they said it just like, hey, just so you know, you're being an asshole. And we get it. Knock that shit off. Okay. And through them, all of us doing a little bit of research, things like that, like, you know, coping mechanisms, things, talks, everything. I've become one of the best versions of myself that I could possibly be in my life right now. And again, it all goes back to wanting to be a good example for Nova. So that being said, back in April, my brother Vito came back for one more match to honor a friend of ours that had passed away. And he always wanted his daughter, Matt Mayhem. Yeah, Matt Mayhem, man. And it was sad. It was real sad when you hear, you know, someone that you lost contact with, things, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, we were best friends. We did quite a few shows together. We were friendly, you know, but I consider him a friend, but by no means would we ever call each other on the phone and see how each other's doing. But if I saw him at a show, it was always nice. Hello, good to see you. You know, a handshake and a hug and this and that. But I wanted to honor him because that's what you do for the brotherhood of wrestling, if you will. And Vito wanted to also, which I thought was great. He's going to come back, and we teamed up. And his big thing was that my niece Sophia has been to my shows and seen me wrestle and talked about Uncle Brandon being in the ring and stuff. And he's like, I want her, I could show her tapes all day long and YouTube stuff, all of them, but I want her to see me live. So he's like, I'm going to do this last match. I'm like, awesome, man, that's great. And he's like, hey, what do you think about Sophia walking us in the ring? Like, yeah, that's great, you know, and okay, great, cool. So my daughter saw her cousin walk Daddy and Uncle Vito to the ring. And she's like, oh, can I ever do that? And I was like, sure you can. I go, don't, just so you know, like, I didn't have you that weekend. So that's the only reason you weren't with us. Right. If I had you that weekend, you 100% you've been walking us to the ring. Oh, okay. I go, I'll talk to Jimmy Blaze.
Shout out Jimmy Blaze, man.
Yeah. So funny thing about it is, before I could even bring it up to Jimmy, the next time I see him, he's like, hey man, you gotta get Nova to walk you to the ring. I'm like, funny you asked me. You say that. Like, I was just gonna ask you about that. So this was in June. Him and I talked about it. And he goes, August, we have Lakemore Fest. Lakemore Fest, or Lakemore as a town, is right next to the town that I grew up in. So we do Lakemore Fest every year with the wrestling. We kind of kick off the whole festival. And it's always a lot of fun. I see a lot of friends and family from, you know, high school and things. So it's always a really good time. He's like, so what about Lakemore Fest? I think about it, man. It's like, you know, we could do a show in Fox Lake or Twin Lakes where, you know, where he runs. Like, that's cool, but there's going to be a lot of people at Lakemore Fest. There's going to be a lot of people, you know, that I'm like, nah, dude, I'm down, right? So we already had it squared away. And then Nova comes to a Damage Pro show out in Rockford with me that Jimmy was helping book with. And I said, hey, honey, if you want to get booked, you know, you got to talk to the promoter, right? She's like, what do you mean, Daddy? I go, if you want to get booked on a show, I go, I'll train you, but you got to get yourself booked. I'm not going to vouch for you. You got to get yourself booked on the show. You got to ask the promoter. Well, who's that? I go, Jimmy. And she likes Jimmy. She's seen Jimmy quite a few times and then, you know, been around him a few times. So, and he's always, you know, Nova. And she's like, hi, you know, so she knew who he was. So again, Ribbon, I mess with her constantly. I'm always messing with her. And she's like, Jimmy, can I walk my dad to the ring one time? And he's like, ooh, I don't know. You're a little young. And she's like, oh, he's like, I'm just kidding with you, honey. He's like, how about in August for Lakeport Fest? She's like, I don't care when it is. I just want to walk my dad to the ring. Thank you. So she's super geeked out, right? So, yeah, bro, right? And so that's how it was all set up. And then it was like, all right, well, who are we going to work with? Is it going to be a singles match? Is it going to be a tag match? What are we going to do? I wanted to team with Jimmy because I knew Craig couldn't make it. Only because I knew Nova would be comfortable if he was on the apron while I was in the ring to like say something to him or talk to him or stuff. So it ended up being we started off as a regular tag match, and then I was teamed with Mason Perks, and then Jimmy joined in, and it was a whole 6-man tag spot. But as we were putting things together, and Nova's in the back, dude, this was. Bad Hombre Cartel. I'm going to break kayfabe here. Two of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. Two of the funniest guys you'd ever meet. Really good people that I consider friends. You know, it's hard to. There's a lot of acquaintances in wrestling. Very few friends. You hear that a lot. And these are people that two guys that I consider friends. And so when I knew I was working with them, I knew I was going to be in good hands because they're both dads of younger kids, and they know what they're doing, right? So Javier goes, I want to get hit by Nova. I'm like, hey man, that's cool. Like, what do you want to do? Like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So as we're in the back, he's like, all right, honey, you know, I know you know what to do, but let me see your happy face. She's like, hi. He's like, let me see your mean face. She mean mugged the shit out of him. It's like, dude, I'm already scared. He goes, I don't want to get hit now. I don't want to get hit. I'm like, oh, this guy. He's like, all right, so I'm going to say this, and then when I say this, I want you to hit me. She's like, okay. So we're practiced it. He, you know, and he gives her a little head tap like he said he was going to do. And she, okay, nothing. Like, he's like, no, honey, like, we're practicing. Hit me as hard as you can. She's like, okay. I'm like, hey, you know when daddy messes with you? Like, you jump on me and like drop elbows? She's like, yeah. I'm like, hit him like that. She's like, blah, 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 little head tap. And she, wow, like she's swinging for the fences. He goes, that's what you need to do out there. Like, okay, great. And yeah, man. So I'm horrible at telling stories. My brother will be the first person to say that. Pause all that shit. Rewind earlier in the day. I pick her up from school. We're driving home. And I'm like, you ready for tonight? She's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay. You nervous? No. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Right, yeah,
all right. So she goes, can we call Uncle Sal? I was like, yeah, we can call Uncle Sal. She loves calling Sal when we're driving. And so we're talking this and that, and then the three of us kind of have a conversation. And I'm like, dude, she's super nervous right now. I was like, honey, you have nothing to be nervous about, and this and that. I'm like, hey, you want to cut some promos though? She's like, yeah, I guess. I'm like, all right, just repeat after me. Okay. I'm like, hey, yo. She's like, hey, yo. It's survey time. You know, did the whole Scott Hall, right? And I go, yeah. Did you come here to see PAULY THOMASELLI? Or did you come here to see the NOVA? And I go, put up the 2 sweet. She's like, okay. So she's like, did you come here to see PAULY THOMASELli? Or did you come here to see the NOVA? So dude, Sal and I are dying. I almost run up the side of the road because I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, that's perfect. As soon as she said that though, and she heard our reaction, she's like, all right, like, I got this, Dad. I'm like, yes, you do it. Yeah, you got this, you know? So then we're there. She had matching gear. Me and her had matching gear. I made her a little entrance jacket to wear to the ring with the little Macho Man fringe, everything, right? So she's now she's in character. Like now she is the NOVA. And then she sees the guys. We do that whole bit. She laughs the shit out of Javier. Like everything's great. We're ready to go. Her big thing was that I found out later what she was nervous about was no one's going to know who I am. And I'm like, oh, honey. Because she had said that to me, but I didn't realize that was the big number one reason she was so nervous. And I told her, I go, listen, everyone here in this town, I either know from high school and I'm friends with on Facebook, they're family members of us, so our family members know you. I go, or they're, fans of how that I'm friends with on Facebook that see your pictures and like and heart and all this other shit. You're going to be fine. And she's like, okay. I'm like, I guarantee you at one point you get a Nova chant. no, daddy, no, he'll stop. I'm like, okay. Dude, coming to the ring, accompanied by the coolest daughter in the whole wide world, Pauly Thomaselli, playing my music. We come out, Nova, Nova. No, the whole crowd just chanting, like, yeah, dude, like she's like, oh yeah, like everything, right, dude? It was such a mark out moment for me to see her having fun. And I got a great photo. I had set her up on the top where I'm looking at her, and it's from like the side profile. I'm talking to her. Well, what we were saying at that point was, she was so geeked out. She goes, Daddy. I'm like, what? She's like, this is so cool. I'm like, I know. So yeah, dude, like, come on, man. And then we run her little spot. She gets in there, like I said, bada bada boom, bit. She slaps the shit out of him. She scampers it out of the ring. And we had a spot right next to my mom and dad in the front row for her to go sit after that happened, because we were gonna brawl at that point. So I didn't want her involved at any point of that, because her next cue was for the finish of the match, to come in and hit the top rope splash.
Wow,
that's so cool.
The reason she wanted to go off the top rope though was because my niece Sophia went off the middle rope. She's more competitive. My daughter's more competitive than I am, which is frightening, because I didn't think that was possible. And
yeah.
She's like, did Nova or did Sophia go off the top or the middle? I'm like, oh, she went off the middle. I'm gonna go off the top. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I go, I'll hold your hand the whole time, so don't worry about it. Okay. So she fucking double stomps, because Craig and I do the pendulum double stomp for a finish. Shout out to Vito himself for letting me steal that from him. Boom, boom, double stomp, right? I hit my little finishing move, blam, double stomp, we take it home. And as this is of everything that happened, everything, this is my favorite part. She double stomps, I get on the cover, and I look at her, I'm like, come on. She jumps on my back, like the way Scott Steiner, or the way Rick Steiner would come between Scott's legs and they would like hold each other. She like took the Scott Steiner roll and like jumped on my back. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, like, yay, here we go, right? And then the best part about it is, in 20 years almost of doing this, twice now I've had pyrotechnics for me, and it's been at Lakemore Fest. After the match, fireworks going off in the background.
Oh, it's fire.
Coolest thing ever, right? Every guy, and the guy that got us hooked up with Lakemore at the time was the mayor of the town. Now he's a city planner, but him and I used to work together when I was fresh out of high school. And he's a huge, NWO era type guy, fan base, right? So he's like, bro, it's gonna be Bash at the Beach. I want the trellises around the ring, which we didn't have that, but we literally had a Bash at the Beach setup, like nice. with the water behind us, the whole deal. And so they have a fireworks display on the next night every year, on the second night of Lakemore Fest. So he every year when he's like, hey man, I need like 6. Just give me 6 for like this one guy right here. He's a hometown guy. It's gonna get a pop, and just do that, right? So not only did Nova in her first wrestling experience get the main event, she got to win. She got pyrotechnics, but she also got to cut a promo. Because that promo that I talked about, her doing the Scott Hall survey time with the NWO, we tell Jimmy about it, and I made her do it for Jimmy in the little tent we were in, or by the little tent we were at. And he goes, do you want to do that out in the ring? She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, $20 says you don't. She's like, she goes, Jimmy, give me that mic. I want $20 for my dad. And I was like, good Lord, why don't they?
There we go.
There you go.
So the match is over. Jimmy gets on the mic. He goes, I can't believe this. Go figure, a Thomaselli, their first time here, wants to talk on the mic. I just want to know, no, but what do you have to say? And like, she takes the mic and she looks at me like, get your wallet out, Dad.
All the money.
And then
I want my money, Pop.
But then she looks at me like, what do I say? So I go, hey, yo. She's like, hey, yo. I'm like, it's survey time. It's survey time. Did the whole fucking thing. Did you come here to see Pauly Thomaselli? Or did you come here to see the NOBA? Crowd pops, Nova. And yeah, man, talk about a highlight. It was awesome. And then the photos on top of it. between photos from friends, photos from my family. Nova's mom actually came to the show, which is insane because she hated wrestling. She would show up every so often and she supported me, as my wife at the time and stuff. So, that was never an issue, but wrestling wasn't her thing. She was never around it growing up. No one, family, friends wise was ever like, oh man, did you watch Raw last night? No, she hated wrestling. And plus it took me away from family time and things like that, which again, at the time I was like, fuck you, I'm going to be in the WWF one day. And now looking back, I'm like, God, you were kind of a dick, but here nor there, her and I get along great now, which is the important thing, especially for our daughter. But she was even there and she was like, what? How long did you guys practice that? I'm like, in the car today. Like, she's a natural performer. I know she's our kid, but she's my kid. Like, come on,
no shame.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, man, Pauly Thomaselli, man, give it up for Pauly, man.
We're gonna have all this like audio, like applause and like cheers. I'm gonna give you some like techno, like pyro in the back too. Like just
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having me on. This has been a lot of fun. I would love to do it again if you guys ever need someone to just come here and talk shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let me just invite myself on. So.
Story time.
Bro, you are a part of the family now. You're a part of the crew.
Story time with Pauly Thomaselli every time. Like story time.
Oh hell yeah, man. I got plenty of them, man. I didn't even tell you about shitting in a bucket or anything like that. So that's
So real quick, before we let you go, let us know what you got coming up. Let the people know how they can follow you, how they can get a hold of you, all the above, bro.
So I have Saturday, October 8th, SSW at the Broad Stop. I am so geeked out for this show, man. It has been way too long since I've been back at the Broad Stop with SSW and that crew. I can't wait. I'm teaming with Victor Free against Jeff Luxon and Ryan Cross. Oh yeah. Ice Pick Impact will be back one more time. So I'm looking forward to that. Always a good time with those guys. The crew, like I said, everyone, man, I haven't seen them in forever, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. That's for October. November, Wrestle Rage with POW Entertainment. Looking forward to that. Teaming with Craig against the Brothers of Funstruction. Yabo and Ruffo. Can't not wait for that one. That's going to be a barn burner for sure, and I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm super geeked out about that. And then I have All Heel Wrestling coming up in November as well. So looking forward to that too. And that kind of closes out my year as far as wrestling goes, because with my new job schedule, I work every other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I can't just take every bookie willy-nilly anymore, that's okay. It's okay. I like my job. I finally consider my job a career now, which is nice. So I got that going for me.
Awesome. Spectacular.
That's what's up, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Look, man, like, no lie, this has been one of the easiest freaking interviews ever. Like, we're just like, all right, so what's this? And we're just like, because most of these interviews, we got to prep people because we talk a lot.
Yeah.
This one was one of those things where this was easy. So we're gonna push. We're gonna push you a lot.
Thank you.
Everything, profile pics, all that. Now you got to pick the outro music. So what are we going out with?
The only time I'm going to have dead air for you guys. We can either do If You're Gonna Be Dumb, You Gotta Be Tough by the Smut Peddlers. No, you know what? Fuck that. Rampage by Cottonmouth Kings. That's one of my old theme songs, and I love KMK. Being on tour with them with the Clowns back in 2010 was an awesome experience. Traveling the country on the tour bus and all that. Yeah, Rampage, KMK.
Rampage, KMK. You got it, bud.
My man.
We got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the outro, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Health Tech Wrestling Podcast. Appreciate you guys so much. No chill with Phil Good. Your spiel right fast, and then we'll get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Pauly Thomaselli Hot Take Podcast. No chill with Phil, the voice of violence, the child support slayer. Oh, yeah. And this is a very important PSA for all the ladies, just the women only. Ladies, please remember, my house pulls out. I don't. Thank you.
Why do you say that? Like, why do you say that so willy-nilly? Like, that's just like you can't.
And internet sucks. Every time you have something important to say, because you're moving around and you don't have a headset or like a proper mic to do an actual fucking podcast, it cuts out. Yeah, there you go, Bluetooth. Cool. No, man, you want to be professional, you hardwire your shit in so you sound properly. Good fucking Lord, Phil.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Pauly Thomaselli.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. Hot Take Wrestling Podcast is part of the NMG Podcast Network, a division of NMG Enterprises, LLC. Follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Take. Follow us on Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling. You can listen to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast on any streaming platform of your choice.